Do you know that, according to a study published in the Journal of Food Science, 2020, some common fruits can lose up to 70 to 90% of vitamin C and antioxidants after only a few days in the refrigerator at 4 degrees Celsius? What is more concerning is that some of them may even produce compounds that can irritate the digestive system. This is especially true for people over 50, when the stomach and intestines have become more sensitive. Imagine this. You spend money on the freshest fruits, hoping to provide nutrition for your body. You carefully place them in the refrigerator, believing that this will keep them fresh. But in reality, you are unintentionally losing the very nutrients that your body needs to strengthen immunity, protect the heart, and maintain daily energy. In the next few minutes, I will take you through the fruits that should not and absolutely must not be kept in the refrigerator, the exact reasons why cold temperatures damage them, and the correct ways to store them so you can make the most of every vitamin, every mineral, and every antioxidant. But before we go into detail, I would like to ask you something. There is one very common fruit, perhaps sitting in your refrigerator right now, that, when chilled, keeps only about 10% of its original nutritional value. Can you guess which fruit that is? I will reveal it in just a few moments. This is particularly important if you are over the age of 50. At this stage of life, the body needs to absorb all the nutrients from food to support bones and joints, memory, vision, and the immune system. Losing 70 to 90% of nutrients simply because of a wrong storage habit is a waste that you can completely avoid. So, can you guess which fruit is losing the most nutritional value when kept in the refrigerator? Let us find out right now. 1. Mango. For many people, mangoes are fruits tied to childhood memories. From sweet, golden ripe mangoes to crunchy slices of green mango. But there is something few people notice. Mango is a tropical fruit, and when stored in the cold temperature of a refrigerator, it not only loses its natural flavor, but also most of its nutritional value. Biologically, mangoes are rich in vitamin C. This is an important antioxidant that helps strengthen resistance and protect cells from aging. Mangoes also contain beta-carotene, a precursor of vitamin A, which supports vision and skin. However, when mangoes are kept in a cold environment below 10 degrees Celsius, the natural enzymes that act as vitamin protectors become inactivated. It is like a well-working machine suddenly switched off, making vitamins more vulnerable to oxidation and breakdown. A study published in the Journal of Food Science, NIH 2020, showed that mangoes stored in the fridge for 72 hours can lose more than 60% of their original vitamin C content. This means that if you eat a mango after a few days in the fridge, the vitamin intake may only be a small fraction of what it was when freshly bought. After the age of 60, the body absorbs nutrients less efficiently than in younger years. Eating fruit that has lost much of its value can cause deficiencies without people realizing it. As a result, immunity declines because vitamin C in mangoes normally stimulates the production of white blood cells, which help protect the body against bacteria and viruses. When lost, the risk of colds and respiratory infections increases. At the same time, eyes and skin also weaken due to a lack of beta-carotene, the precursor of vitamin A needed for vision and skin renewal. This makes reading more difficult, and the skin becomes dry and rough. Not only that, vitamin C also plays a role in energy metabolism. So when it is lacking, the body often feels tired, weak, and lacking vitality. In addition, refrigerated mangoes often become fibrous, lose their sweetness, and taste less pleasant. For older adults, this factor is particularly important as appetite strongly influences whether they eat enough nutrients. The correct way is to let mangoes ripen naturally at room temperature, 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. This helps the fruit develop full flavor, color, and nutrition. If mangoes ripen too quickly, you can peel them, cut them into small pieces, and place them in the freezer for later use in smoothies, yogurt, or desserts. To ripen mangoes more evenly, simply put them in a paper bag with an apple or banana. Natural ethylene gas will help the mangoes ripen without refrigeration. In daily meals, mangoes can be combined flexibly. Breakfast with slices of ripe mango and unsweetened yogurt to support digestion. Lunch with mango salad, leafy greens, and grilled salmon to provide protein, fiber, and vitamins. An afternoon smoothie with mango and almond milk instead of sugary sweets. A reasonable portion for people over 60 is about half a medium mango per day. This is enough to add vitamins without raising blood sugar too quickly. However, people with diabetes should be especially careful, as mangoes have a medium-high glycemic index. Eating too much may raise blood sugar levels. It is best to eat them with fiber or protein to slow sugar absorption. Mangoes are not a medicine. They are only part of a balanced diet and cannot replace prescribed treatment. People allergic to plants of the mango family should also take care. Mango peel may cause skin irritation or itching around the mouth. Mango is a natural nutrient store rich in vitamin C and beta-carotene, but only if stored correctly. If kept in the refrigerator, much of its value evaporates, especially for people over 60 who need every vitamin to maintain health. Let mangoes ripen naturally, or cut and freeze them if you want to keep them longer. That simple step helps preserve almost all the benefits mangoes can offer your body. 2. Banana. Banana is perhaps the most common fruit in every household. It is cheap, easy to buy, easy to eat, and full of energy. For people over 60, bananas have an extra value. They provide potassium, an important mineral that helps stabilize blood pressure and protect the heart. But there is one mistake many people make. They put bananas in the refrigerator. Have you ever done that? Banana is a tropical fruit that grows in warm and humid climates. When kept below 13 degrees Celsius, the cell structure of bananas is quickly damaged, leading to many negative changes. The peel turns black because the enzyme polyphenol oxidase becomes very active when exposed to cold shock. Vitamin C breaks down rapidly. According to a study published in the Food Chemistry Journal, 2016, bananas can lose up to 60% of vitamin C after only 48 hours in the fridge. At the same time, starch in bananas is not gradually converted into natural sugar. Instead, it remains frozen in the cells, which makes the fruit ripen unevenly. When eaten, it feels dry, bland, and less sweet. The result is bananas with black skin, firm flesh, poor flavor, and more importantly, a significant loss of nutrition. For people over 60, the impact is even clearer. Bananas are rich in potassium, which regulates heartbeat and blood pressure. But when the cells are damaged, the ability to absorb potassium is reduced, and the valuable benefit for the heart is lost. In addition, refrigerated bananas produce more resistant starch. This is difficult to digest and can cause bloating or discomfort in those with weak stomachs. Another important point is that fresh, ripe bananas are a source of natural sugar that provides quick energy. But when bananas suffer from cold shock, they taste bland and less appealing. This makes older people eat less and miss out on a healthy source of energy. The correct way to store bananas is at room temperature, 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. This is the ideal condition for the fruit to ripen evenly, keep its aroma, and preserve vitamins. If you want bananas to ripen faster, put them in a paper bag with mangoes or apples. The natural ethylene gas helps speed up the ripening process. On the other hand, if bananas ripen too quickly, you can peel, slice, and freeze them. Frozen bananas still keep most vitamins and can be used for smoothies or cold banana desserts. A reasonable portion for people over 60 is about half to 1 banana per day. This provides potassium and vitamin B6 without excessive sugar. Bananas can be used flexibly in daily meals. In the morning, half a banana with oats and yogurt gives energy and supports digestion. At lunch, a salad with green vegetables, slices of ripe banana, and walnuts is both tasty and heart-healthy. In the afternoon, a banana smoothie with almond milk can replace sugary cakes. However, there are still important notes. People with diabetes need to control portions because bananas have a medium glycemic index. They should eat bananas with fiber or protein to keep blood sugar stable. People with kidney disease should also be careful. High potassium in bananas may disturb heart rhythm if kidney function is reduced. And most importantly, bananas are not a treatment for blood pressure or heart disease. They should only be part of a balanced and healthy diet. Bananas are a wonderful friend for heart and digestive health in people over 60, but only when eaten correctly. Ripened naturally at room temperature or frozen when too ripe, can you gain all their benefits. Putting bananas in the fridge may cause them to lose up to 60% of vitamin C in just 2 days. And your body will no longer receive that valuable source of nutrition. 3. Cantaloupe. On hot summer days, few fruits bring as much freshness and comfort as cantaloupe. Its sweet, juicy flesh, rich in vitamin C and vitamin A, is a favorite choice for many families, especially when they want to add water and minerals to the body. But there is a fact that few people know. Cantaloupe is one of the fruits that is very sensitive to cold temperatures. If stored incorrectly, you not only spoil the flavor, but also lose much of its valuable nutrition. Cantaloupe has soft flesh and contains more than 90% water. Inside, its cells hold many vitamins, especially vitamin C, which strengthens immunity, and beta-carotene, the precursor of vitamin A, which benefits vision and skin. When stored at 2 to 4 degrees Celsius in the refrigerator, the cell membranes of the fruit break down. As a result, vitamin C comes into direct contact with oxygen, leading to rapid oxidation. According to data from the USDA Nutrient Database, 2019, cantaloupe stored in the fridge for only 3 to 4 days can lose 50 to 60% of its vitamin C compared with room temperature storage. This means that if you eat cantaloupe after a few days in the refrigerator, you will receive less than half of its original vitamins. For younger people, this loss may not show clear effects. But for people over 60, who need every bit of vitamin to fight aging, it is a serious waste. In older adults, eating cantaloupe stored in the fridge incorrectly may cause unwanted effects. Because of its high water content, when the fruit cells are damaged by chilling, natural sugars ferment and produce gas. This makes older people who already have slower digestion prone to bloating, indigestion, and heartburn. At the same time, vitamin C in cantaloupe plays an important role in collagen production and immune protection. When more than half of this vitamin is lost, immunity declines significantly. The body becomes weaker against bacteria and viruses. In addition, beta-carotene in cantaloupe, which is converted into vitamin A to protect the eyes, is also lost. This can gradually reduce vision over time. Cantaloupe stored too long in the fridge often becomes bland, watery, or slightly sour. This reduces appetite, and for older people, appetite is crucial in maintaining the habit of eating fruit regularly. To keep nutrition intact, cantaloupe should ripen naturally at room temperature. Keep it in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. Once cut, it should be tightly wrapped to reduce contact with air and eaten within 24 hours. Do not keep whole fruit in the fridge for too long. If you want it chilled, place it in the fridge only for a few hours before eating, not for several days. A reasonable portion for people over 60 is about one slice, around 150 grams, in the morning or after light exercise. This is when the body absorbs vitamins and water best and avoids the risk of bloating at night. In daily meals, cantaloupe can be used flexibly. In the morning, one slice with low-fat yogurt adds vitamins and supports digestion. At lunch, a salad with cantaloupe, leafy greens, and walnuts is both tasty and heart-friendly. In the afternoon, a cantaloupe smoothie with almond milk can replace sugary drinks. However, there are still important notes. People with kidney disease should limit cantaloupe because its high potassium content may disturb heart rhythm if kidney function is weak. It should not be eaten on an empty stomach, as natural sugar may raise blood glucose quickly. And most importantly, cantaloupe is not a vitamin supplement or a medicine. It should only be part of a balanced and varied diet to support health. Cantaloupe is rich in water, vitamin C, and vitamin A, which are very beneficial for people over 60. But if stored incorrectly, especially for too long in the refrigerator, it not only loses more than half of its vitamins, but can also cause bloating and indigestion. The best way is to eat it fresh, just after cutting, and adjust the portion properly. That way, you can enjoy all the benefits that this refreshing fruit brings. 4. Grapes. In the world of fruits, grapes are often called the little gems of nature. Small but rich in nutrition, grapes have been studied for decades because they contain a rare compound called resveratrol. This is a powerful antioxidant that protects the heart, improves blood circulation, and supports anti-aging. Many people over the age of 60 include grapes in their daily diet as a secret to good health. But there is something that few people notice. When grapes are stored incorrectly in the refrigerator, these benefits can be lost very quickly. Grapes have thin skins and contain many polyphenols, valuable plant compounds that fight free radicals. At low temperatures of 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, the cells of the grape skin easily crack. Polyphenols then come into direct contact with oxygen. As a result, oxidation happens rapidly, reducing the fruit's natural antioxidant activity. In particular, resveratrol, which is found mainly in the skin, is also very sensitive to temperature and light. Once oxidized, resveratrol can no longer protect the heart as effectively as before. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology, 2018, showed that in a group of 600 people aged 65 and above, eating fresh grapes daily for 12 weeks improved circulation and reduced mild hypertension. But the researchers stressed that this effect was only seen with fresh grapes, not grapes kept in the fridge for too long or slightly fermented. For people over 60, eating grapes stored too long in the refrigerator may cause several unwanted effects. When the skins crack, natural sugars inside are quickly fermented by microbes into alcohol and acids. This gives grapes a sour and sometimes fermented taste. Older adults eating them may experience bloating and digestive discomfort. At the same time, valuable compounds such as resveratrol and polyphenols, known for protecting blood vessels and reducing inflammation, are rapidly oxidized. As a result, grapes almost lose their heart benefits. In addition, grapes stored too long in the fridge often taste overly sweet because sugars become concentrated. This can cause blood sugar spikes after meals, which is especially harmful for people with diabetes. Fresh grapes are crisp and juicy, but when kept too long in the refrigerator, they become wrinkled, lose water, and are less appealing. For older adults, appetite is essential for maintaining the habit of eating fruit daily. The correct way to use grapes is to eat them fresh at room temperature. This is the best way to enjoy resveratrol and polyphenols fully. If you want to keep them longer, wash them, dry them, place them whole in sealed bags, and freeze them quickly. In these conditions, the cell structure is locked, and nutrients are better preserved than with standard refrigeration. Frozen grapes can also be a refreshing snack, a healthy alternative to ice cream in summer. A reasonable portion for people over 60 is about 10 to 12 fresh grapes a day. This provides enough antioxidants without adding too much sugar. In daily meals, grapes can be used flexibly. In the morning, a few grapes with oats and yogurt add natural sweetness and support digestion. At lunch, a grilled chicken salad with halved grapes and almonds is both delicious and heart-healthy. In the afternoon, frozen grapes can replace ice cream, refreshing and low in calories. However, there are important notes. People with diabetes must be cautious, as grapes contain natural sugars. Eating too many may raise blood sugar levels quickly. The best way is to eat them with fiber or protein to slow absorption. People taking blood-thinning medication should also be careful. Resveratrol may increase the effect of such drugs, so regular large amounts of grapes should be discussed with a doctor. It is also not recommended to eat grapes on an empty stomach. The natural acids may irritate the stomach lining, especially in older adults with sensitive digestion. Grapes are a small gift full of benefits for the heart and overall health, especially in people over 60. But these benefits are complete only when you eat fresh grapes. Storing grapes in the fridge for too long may lead to fermentation, loss of vitamins, and reduced antioxidant activity. Choose to eat fresh grapes at room temperature, or freeze them quickly if you want to keep them longer. With only 10 to 12 grapes a day, you can help your heart stay strong and your circulation improve. 5. Plums. Plums are small fruits with a balance of sweet and sour flavor, refreshing and pleasant to eat. Few people know that inside this familiar fruit lies a treasure of nutrition, especially rich in anthocyanins. These are natural antioxidants that give plums their deep red and purple color. Why are anthocyanins in plums important? Anthocyanins have been proven in many studies to play an important biological role. They help protect blood vessels, making them stronger and reducing the risk of atherosclerosis. At the same time, anthocyanins are powerful antioxidants that limit cell damage caused by free radicals, one of the key drivers of aging. They are also beneficial for the brain. A study published in the European Journal of Nutrition, 2017, showed that in older adults who consumed plums rich in anthocyanins for 12 weeks, memory and concentration improved significantly compared with those who did not. These are very valuable benefits, especially for people over 60, when cardiovascular health and memory often decline quickly. What happens when plums are kept in the fridge? Plums are stone fruits, rich in water and natural sugars. When stored at low temperatures, 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, their cells are easily damaged, leading to several consequences. Plums become firm, lose their juiciness and sweetness, and taste less appealing. Studies show that after just 1 week in the fridge, plums can lose up to 50% of their anthocyanins. This means their antioxidant effect, protecting blood vessels and the brain, is reduced by half. Vitamin C in plums also breaks down under these conditions. Instead of providing nutrients, you only receive a small part of the fruit's original benefits. The impact on people over 60, for older adults, the consequences of eating refrigerated plums are even more evident. When anthocyanins are reduced, the brain receives less protection and memory declines faster. Blood vessels also weaken, increasing the risk of high blood pressure and atherosclerosis. In addition, plums that are firm and overly sour discourage appetite. This reduces fruit intake, an important habit for maintaining good health. How to use plums correctly to keep their benefits. To preserve nutrition, plums should be eaten fresh at room temperature. If you have too many, instead of keeping them in the fridge for days, You can prepare them as compote or low-sugar jam. Although some vitamin C is lost with heat, anthocyanins are preserved fairly well with short cooking. A reasonable portion for people over 60 is about 2 to 3 plums per day, enough to provide antioxidants without excess sugar. Suggestions for daily meals. In the morning, 1 to 2 fresh plums after breakfast help digestion and provide vitamins. At lunch, slices of purple plum added to a salad give a natural sweet-sour taste and boost antioxidants. In the afternoon, a warm glass of plum compote can replace sugary desserts, tasty and heart-friendly. Important notes: older adults should not eat plums on an empty stomach, as organic acids may cause stomach discomfort. Those with stomach ulcers should limit plums, as their sourness may worsen the condition. It is also better to eat plums with water or after main meals to reduce the risk of acid-damaging tooth enamel. Plums are small fruits, but rich in anthocyanins, compounds that protect the brain and blood vessels. They are especially useful for people over 60, but only when eaten fresh can plums provide their full benefits. If kept in the fridge for too long, plums become firm, lose sweetness, and may lose up to half of their anthocyanins. So eat plums fresh at room temperature, and if you have extra, prepare them as compote or low-sugar jam to make the most of their value. 6. Pineapple. Among familiar tropical fruits, pineapple always holds a special place. Not only because of its sweet and tangy taste, but more importantly, pineapple contains a rare natural enzyme called bromelain. Bromelain has the ability to break down protein into simpler amino acids, helping the body digest meat, fish, and eggs more easily. For younger people, the digestive system is often still strong. But after the age of 60, the stomach produces less acid, and the pancreas produces fewer enzymes, which makes protein digestion slower. Eating a slice of fresh pineapple at this stage is like adding extra digestive enzymes to help food pass more smoothly. Beyond digestion, bromelain has also been shown to reduce mild inflammation and ease joint pain. A study reported in Harvard Health Publishing, 2021, found that among 200 patients over the age of 60 with mild osteoarthritis, those who ate fresh pineapple regularly had significant improvements in pain and mobility compared with the control group. However, this benefit was only observed with fresh pineapple, not with pineapple kept in the fridge for many days. When pineapple is stored at 2 to 4 degrees Celsius in the refrigerator, bromelain begins to lose activity and break down quickly. Research shows that after only 48 hours, bromelain content is greatly reduced, and after 5 to 7 days, it is almost completely gone. This means that instead of adding enzymes to support digestion, you are left with sour pieces of pineapple with little nutritional value. Not only does the enzyme disappear, but pineapple kept too long in the fridge can also begin to ferment. Natural sugars are converted into alcohol and acids, giving the fruit a sharp, sour taste and even a fermented smell. For older adults with sensitive stomachs, this may cause bloating, diarrhea, or stomach pain. For people over 60, storing and using pineapple incorrectly can have several consequences. First is digestive discomfort. Instead of helping digestion, chilled or fermented pineapple may lead to bloating, reflux, or abdominal pain. In addition, older people often suffer from joint pain and stiffness, which can be partly relieved by the natural anti-inflammatory action of bromelain in fresh pineapple. But when this enzyme is destroyed, the body loses this natural support. Another problem is appetite. Pineapple kept too long in the fridge becomes harsh and pungent, discouraging older people from eating it. As a result, they may miss out on important vitamin C and fiber needed for overall health. To keep the full benefits of pineapple, the best way is to eat it fresh immediately after cutting, ideally within 2 to 3 hours. If you want to store it longer, cut it into small pieces, place them in a sealed container, and freeze quickly. At deep freezing temperatures, bromelain is preserved much better, and frozen pineapple can be used for smoothies or desserts. A reasonable portion for people over 60 is about 1 to 2 slices, around 100 grams, after a main meal. This helps support protein digestion while avoiding irritation caused by eating too much at once. In daily meals, pineapple can be used flexibly. After a meat-heavy lunch, adding just 1 to 2 slices of fresh pineapple can make the body feel lighter. You can also make a pineapple salad with lettuce, tuna, and a little olive oil. Easy to eat and good for the heart. Frozen pineapple blended with low-sugar yogurt makes a refreshing and healthy afternoon smoothie. However, there are important points to remember. People with stomach ulcers or gastritis should limit pineapple because its acids may worsen discomfort. Those taking blood-thinning medication, such as warfarin, should consult a doctor first, as bromelain may increase the effect of such drugs. It is also important never to eat pineapple on an empty stomach. Its organic acids can irritate the stomach, especially in older adults with sensitive digestion. Pineapple is a valuable nutritional gift, especially because of bromelain, which supports digestion and helps reduce joint inflammation. But these benefits remain only when eaten fresh. If kept in the fridge for many days, pineapple not only loses its value, but may also cause digestive discomfort. For people over 60, choose to eat ripe fresh pineapple in the right portion. Remember, eaten properly, pineapple can truly become a companion for your digestion and joints. 7. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are so familiar that many people forget they are, biologically, a fruit. From family meals to European salads, from spaghetti sauce to sour soup, tomatoes appear everywhere. But there is one mistake many people make. They put tomatoes in the fridge to keep them longer. In reality, this not only spoils their natural flavor, but also reduces many valuable nutrients. Tomatoes are warm climate plants. The ideal temperature to keep their flavor and nutrition is about 18 to 21 degrees Celsius. When stored in the fridge at 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, tomato cells suffer cold shock and are quickly damaged. As a result, the natural flavor disappears. Aromatic and sweet compounds are broken down, making chilled tomatoes taste bland, like a sip of water with a sharp sourness. Nutrients also decline significantly. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, 2015, showed that tomatoes stored at 4 degrees Celsius for 7 days lost up to 40% of lycopene, an important antioxidant, and 65% of their aroma compounds. Their flesh also becomes mealy, firm, and loses its juiciness. The most special feature of tomatoes is lycopene, the natural red pigment known as the body's red shield. Lycopene has many benefits. It protects the heart by lowering bad cholesterol LDL and preventing atherosclerosis. It reduces the risk of prostate cancer. According to a review from the NIH, 2019, men over 50 who ate more tomatoes had a 10 to 15% lower risk of the disease. Lycopene also protects the skin from UV damage and slows aging. However, when tomatoes are kept in the fridge for too long, lycopene decreases sharply. This means the body almost loses this natural shield. For people over 60, the consequences are even clearer. When lycopene and vitamin C are reduced, the protective effects on the heart, brain, and eyesight are weakened. Cold tomatoes also taste sharp and acidic, which may irritate the stomach and digestion. Moreover, when tomatoes are bland and mealy, many older adults lose interest in eating them. This lowers their fruit and vegetable intake, which is harmful to health. To keep the benefits, Tomatoes should be stored at room temperature in a cool, airy place, away from direct sunlight. They should never be placed in the fridge. If they are too ripe, instead of refrigerating, you should cook them into sauces, soups, or stews. Lycopene is heat-stable and even more absorbable when tomatoes are cooked with olive oil. For people over 60, a reasonable portion is 1 to 2 tomatoes per day. They can be eaten as salad, soup, or juice. In daily meals, tomatoes can be used flexibly. In the morning, a glass of fresh tomato juice with little salt helps detoxify the body and add vitamin C. At lunch, a cherry tomato salad with leafy greens and olive oil is light and rich in antioxidants. In the evening, tomato soup with fish or tofu is easy to digest and adds lycopene. However, there are important notes. People with acid reflux should limit raw tomatoes and prefer cooked ones to reduce acidity. Tomatoes are not a medicine for heart disease or cancer. They are only part of a balanced diet. Unripe green tomatoes should not be eaten, as they may contain solanine, which causes nausea and stomach discomfort. Tomatoes are one of the richest natural sources of lycopene. They help protect the heart, the skin, and the prostate, all key concerns for people over 60. But to take full advantage, you need to eat fresh tomatoes stored at room temperature, or cook them when ripe. Putting tomatoes in the fridge not only makes them bland, but also removes up to 40% of the lycopene red shield. You see, after the age of 60, every meal is not only to fill the stomach, it is also an opportunity to nourish the heart, protect the brain, and strengthen the immune system. At this stage, the body is like a machine that has worked for many years. Every vitamin and every mineral is precious to help it run smoothly. Yet, just because of one small habit in the kitchen, putting fruit in the fridge, we unintentionally lose most of these benefits. Remember this clearly. Mango, pineapple, melon, grapes, plums, bananas, and tomatoes should not be kept in the fridge for too long. Wrong storage equals loss of 50 to 90% of nutrients. Correct storage equals preserved flavor, preserved nutrition, and preserved long-term health. The change is not difficult. You only need to let fruit ripen naturally at room temperature or cook it as soon as it ripens. These small habits add up to great benefits: a stronger heart, a sharper memory, and lighter digestion. Try starting tomorrow morning. Instead of taking a cold banana from the fridge, choose a few fresh, juicy grapes, or add a slice of ripe golden pineapple after breakfast. It is that simple, but it is also how you invest in your health. If you find this information useful, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with friends and family. Because health after the age of 60 is not only a personal journey, but also a gift you give to your loved ones, to live together with joy and with strength. Remember this: health is in your hands, and everything begins with the small habits formed each day in your kitchen.